is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Thank you. Off it was on.
There we go.
Good morning, everybody. Now take just a moment and everybody greet each other if you haven't had a chance to greet each other yet.
Good morning, good to see you. What's special? Good to see you.
All right, if we would all start settling up. All right, we are met. So I'd like to all welcome you. We are all friends. We're good friends today.
We're a chatty bunch this
Yeah.
morning.
It always runs longer than I want it to.
Good morning.
All right. Good morning. My name is Brad Gilbert, and I am a member of Unity of the Hill Country, and I welcome you to Unity of the Hill Country, where we offer a positive path for spiritual living. And let's give another warm welcome to our good friend, Rick Busby.
Good morning, everybody.
If you would now join me in our opening prayer. As we join together in heart and in mind to celebrate the presence of the divine, may we feel at peace. May we find the joy of the universe filling our hearts with love. May we experience health and wholeness on all levels, mind, body, and spirit. The Christ candle is lit, calling forth our awareness of the Spirit. As this light shines, we set our intention to awaken inspiration, guidance, and remembrance of our divine truth. May this flame remind us that the Christ light lives within us and among us. Please join me in affirming our mission statement. Who writes this? To live consciously, celebrating the divine potential in all, as well as our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God, the good, the omnipotent. As well as one more affirmation, our vision statement, revealing oneness in a world of universal peace, love, and abundance. Affirmative prayer is essential to the unity movement. You don't have to carry the burden alone. Whatever you need, healing, guidance, peace of mind, or gratitude, we are here to pray with you. All written prayer requests are sent to the 24/7 prayer vigil at Unity Village. You can call the number on the screen at any time of day or have someone pray with you, or you can confidentially submit prayers online at b.unity.org. You are never alone in prayer. We now turn our attention to the sacred prayer chest. Each name and request placed within is held in light of the divine and infinite wisdom. We affirm that perfect healing, guidance, peace, and joy are already at work in each life. Release these prayers into the care of Spirit, trusting all is in divine order. The Daily Word has been giving the worldwide unity movement a daily prayer since 1924. We join millions of other Daily Word readers throughout the world today. Today's reader is Virginia Gelstrap.
Today's March 15th. Is that right? Should I do?
Do you have a different word?
Yeah, for
read
the.
word you've got.
Okay. Well, the one I have is for Sunday, March 15th, and the word is lively. Yes. And the affirmation is I am lively, filled with awe and wonder. Y'all want to say it with me? I am lively, filled with awe and wonder. Okay. There is a glorious, unseen flow at the heart of all creation, moving in and through me. As I align with this sacred energy, I feel vibrantly alive. I imagine myself part of the great living whole. I am one with the trees whose boughs sway in the wind, with the mountains and hills echoing with ancient voices, with the waters trickling over stone. Even the quiet earth hums a sacred song. Today I will listen more closely, breathe more deeply, and move with intention. Life is not separate from me. I am its expression. In harmony with its rhythm, the world begins to sing. I recognize its lively song is singing me too. And from Isaiah 55:12, for you shall go out in joy and be led back in peace. The mountains and the hills before you shall burst into song, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. So the affirmation again is, I am lively, filled with awe and wonder.
There we go. Now we have the right PowerPoint. Yeah.
Well, you did a great job. I don't know what happened with the slides, but now it's Rick's turn. Now it's Rick's turn. I don't need to be up here. All right.
Back on track. Good morning once again, everybody. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else above you? You fill my heart with gladness, take away all of my sadness, and ease my troubles, that's what you do. For the morning sun in all its glory greets the day with hope and comfort too. You fill my life with laughter, and somehow you make it better, and ease my troubles, that's what you do. And there's a love that's divine, and it's yours and it's mine like the sun. And at the end of the day, we should give thanks and pray to the one, oh, to the one And have I told you lately that I love you? And have I told you there's no one else above you? You fill my life with gladness and take away all of my sadness and ease my troubles. That's what you do. There's a love that's divine, and it's yours and it's mine like the sun. And at the end of the day, we should give thanks and pray to the one, oh, to the one. And have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else above you? You fill my heart with gladness and take away all my sadness and ease my troubles. That's what you do. You fill my life with laughter, and somehow you make it better. Ease my troubles, that's what you do. Thank you very much. We wouldn't need it for in here, but I guess we need it for the people online there. Welcome to the people online who are joining us this morning. And once again, happy Easter season. We are just over halfway to Easter if we're starting from Ash Wednesday. I think we're like 2 days past the halfway mark. So 3 Sundays from now is Easter. And as you know, the Easter season is when we celebrate the resurrection of the Christ. And of course, symbolically, you know, like literally speaking, it's the resurrection of Jesus, so to speak, but metaphysically, it's the resurrection of the Christ. And before we get too deep into that, I want to remind you all that the resurrection is not just for Easter, right? We celebrate this pattern during this Easter season once a year, so to speak, and collectively do it. But the resurrection is always coming. The second coming is always coming, as they say in A Course in Miracles. It's what they call the holy instant. And the holy instant is any instant, this instant, when we reawaken to that Christ presence within us. So in a very real sense, when we practice going into the silence at any point in time during the day, every day of our lives and everything, and we get into that silent space and we connect with that indwelling Christ present, even for a moment, when we connect with that in consciousness, that is the reawakening. That is the resurrection. So the resurrection is an ongoing pattern. It's not just for Easter Sunday. Y'all get that, right? I see a bunch of people nod and go, yeah, we got that. We got that. So what we do here in this Easter season, as we go through this 40 days of Lent, so to speak, and we're going to be talking about that Lent as a practice of clearing space for the Christ. That's the title of today's talk, Clearing Space for the Christ. Y'all know that whenever I talk on a monthly basis here, I'm usually each month kind of framing the talk around whatever the power of the month is. And one of the ideas when we're talking about the 12 powers of the month is that the 12 powers don't operate independently of one another. Well, they're not intended to operate independently of one another. But sometimes we can try that. We can try and, love something that with our reason and discernment is not necessarily good for us. We can ignore the reason and discernment and the sense of right judgment and everything. And we can love. Anybody ever loved something that was bad for you?
Good. Got them at the right meeting. Yeah, I always love it when I come to the right meeting. Uh, that's true though. It's like, and so we have these other capacities, these other creative faculties, and when we're at our best, so to speak, when we're demonstrating our own Christ, as it were, is when we have blended all of those 12 powers into alignment with one another, and we are truly in alignment with all of our divine capacities, and we are expressing in that way. And so what I've been doing this year is each month not just necessarily framing it around whatever the principal power of the month is, but I've been talking about how these powers work together and giving examples of it. And the Easter season is a perfect thing. Has anybody been following along with this? Y'all have got the Easter season, the Lenten book. If you look at that, the very title of it, Release and Reimagine. And if you've been following along with that, you know that the daily affirmations, one day it's an affirmation of release, right? And the next affirmation the next day is reimagine. So that's where this clearing the space for the Christ comes from, because that release and reimagine is like breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. I breathe out, I release. I'm breathing in, I'm taking in that Christ presence, and I'm creating that space and having an opportunity to reimagine the moment. Like if I'm going through some kind of challenge or travail or difficulty in my life, and I'm sort of overcome with that if I retreat into the silence and I take a break, take a breather from that, and go in and remind myself that wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, I am always in the midst of the power and the presence, right? That's one of our primary affirmations here, that wherever we are, whatever we're going through, the one power, the one presence is active in my life in that moment, even if it's a challenging moment, even if I've forgotten that there's one power and one presence, with me, and I'm just plugged into whatever challenge I've got going on, and that's primary in my thinking, the one power and the one presence is still there. And that when I take a step back, when I go into that silence and I suspend my thinking for just a moment and I become receptive and I'm listening, that's when we have that opportunity for that Christ presence to emerge. I mean, it's always there emerging, so to speak, but we get a sense of it when we get still, when we go into the silence. And so this practice of the Lenten season, so to speak, is a tangible way that we are able to look at it as a seasonal thing. Y'all know it begins on Ash Wednesday, right? So we got Fat Tuesday. We get to go out and party and indulge ourselves and eat a bunch of crawfish and, drink hurricanes and whatever on Fat Tuesday. And then the next day we wake up and that's the beginning of the Lenten season. That's the Ash Wednesday. And so from that day, Ash Wednesday, to Easter Sunday is technically speaking 46 days by the calendar. I didn't really realize it until this year when I was refreshing my mind on the orientation of the Lenten season, because I was like, 40 days of Lent. And I was like, wait, man, the calendar doesn't quite add up, right? It's like, it's more than 40 days. It's 46 days from Ash Wednesday to Easter Sunday. And what I was reminded of was that in that 46-day period, the Sundays during that period, it kind of flips the thing. We usually kind of, use the Sunday as a day of abstinence, so to speak, right? That's the Sabbath day, so to speak. But actually on the Sundays, we actually practice the celebration on those Sundays. And it's the other 40 days when we're practicing the release, so to speak. Now, 40, y'all know in metaphysics and in unity teachings and everything, the number 40 is a big deal, right? The 40 days in the desert, so to speak, where Jesus goes out, he faces the temptations, the 40 years in the desert when the Jewish people were wandering before they settled down, they were in exile. So that number 40 is one of the big numbers, and it's that period of clearing, so to speak. It's that period of preparation, sort of preparing the way. And that's what we're doing here in the Lenten season, is we're preparing the way for that Christ presence to come front and center into our lives. Now, if you've got your little takeaway, your little handout here, we're just going to track this. And so this would be a really good handout to bring home that will summarize today's talk, because we're just going to track through this. And in the process, we're going to be talking about the power of renunciation, which is the release part, right? We're going to be talking about the power of imagination, which is the reimagine part. We're also in the month of March right now, and the power of the month for the month of March is the power of wisdom and discernment, right? And kind of probably we'll also touch on, last month we were talking about the power of strength, which is our power of perseverance and so forth. A lot of that capacity that allows us to actually last the 40 days of whatever we're sort of repenting of or releasing. This year, I'm not gonna name what it is that I'm releasing this year, because when we kind of name it and we talk about it, we're kind of leaking the energy, so to speak. It's really a matter of containment, sort of a private thing. Like, what am I releasing this year? And this year I released something really big, like what was big for me. Like, this is a habit I wish to release and let go of. And I was very conscious and intentional that by doing that, I knew that I was going to reclaim a bunch of real estate in my consciousness, because it wasn't just the activity and the habit itself, like the time expended when you're actually engaging in the habit. But I began to recognize that even when I wasn't doing this habit that I wanted to release, it was still taking up a lot of space in the activity of my thinking, even when I wasn't doing it, right? And so by releasing it, it wasn't just the time that I was getting back from this habit that was, sort of wasteful energy, as it were. But as I began to clear, I was like, oh, wow, it's not just the time that I was spending doing this habit. Even when I wasn't doing the habit, I was thinking about doing the habit, right? And then in a lot of cases, like going, why can't you overcome the habit? So not only am I thinking about the habit, but I'm also judging myself for the habits. Like, it was taking up a lot of real estate during the course of the day. And so as I began to set that intention and get really clear, and it was one of those things that's like, do you really want to let it go? Like, oh, well, I don't know. I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I don't know if I really, really want to let it go, and had to get clear. And it kind of started like on Ash Wednesday was when I first started thinking about it. And I was like, okay, it's the beginning of the thing. It's like, today's the day you should set that intention. Well, it actually took me 4 days to get to where it was actually the following Sunday, the first Sunday of the Easter season, when I really said, okay, today's the day. And I released it. And now I'm, 3 weeks into it from that Sunday, and it is cleared. Like, I don't, like once or twice a day, the thought will enter my consciousness. I'll be doing something and the thought comes in, and I gotta tell you, it's a very palpable feeling. It's like, for just a second, it's like, oh, I really want to do that. I really want to do that. And thank God the phone rings or something else gets my attention, and 30 seconds later, I'm not thinking about it anymore. But it reminded me of how palpable the thought was, that when you would have the thought and then you act on it, right? You're acting on it unconsciously. I have the thought, I got to go do it. But when you have the thought, you think you're going to white knuckle it. It's like, no, you'll have the thought and it will feel really, really strong, because it's a habit. It's a habit. But if you just sit still for just a moment, another thought will come into your consciousness. Y'all have heard me say this before, right? We produce somewhere between 60 and 80,000 thoughts a day. Think about that for a moment. 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day running through our consciousness. Just, you don't even, we can't even count that fast. But just think about it. If you're in traffic and you're driving and you're navigating traffic, how many thoughts are going through your head? None. Yeah. Not only are we thinking about the thoughts about navigating the traffic, but we've also got a track in our consciousness that's thinking about whatever's pressing on us, whatever appointment we're going to, whatever concerns we might have, even whatever dreams and aspirations and things we want to manifest. They're all going on simultaneously. The other aspect of that 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day is that it's been said, I guess somebody maybe did a study somewhere, I've never been able to actually track it down, but they say that if you have 60,000 thoughts a day, that 80% of those thoughts, so let's just put that a number to that, 48,000 of the 60,000 thoughts, 48,000 of the 60,000 thoughts are negative, critical, or fear-based. turn on the news, you'll get your daily dose of, of the fear-based things, right? So, and 80% of those thoughts, 80% of those negative fear-based critical thoughts are what we call redundant, meaning they're repetitive. We're thinking the same negative thoughts over and over and over all the time. And it's going on whether we're consciously thinking about it or not, or acknowledging each conscious thought. It's on an unconscious level too, because while we're doing some other activity during the course of the day, that consciousness is still going on all the time. The good news is that 20% of those thoughts are based in truth, based in love. And the power of love, as I've said before, is exponentially greater than the force of fear. So that's how we are able to kind of keep it between the lines, that even though we're only thinking 20% thoughts of love and power-based thoughts, that they keep the balance, even though the majority of what we're thinking is fear-based. So in a season like Lent, when we're setting that intention to release something, let's just say you want to release thoughts of fear, you want to release thoughts of lack, you want to release thoughts of, oh, I'm no good at relationships, I'm no good with managing money, like whatever is in your way convincing you that you don't have power, capacity to successfully navigate this. It can show up in many, many forms, right? And there's the actual act, and then there's the thoughts that go on even when you're not acting, that are continuing to chip away at our consciousness. So when we get into a season of Lent, where we get an opportunity to sort of individually and collectively practice this season, like what does Lent mean to you? You don't have to answer it to me. You don't have to answer it to one another, but just like in this space this morning, it's like, do you actually really take it seriously anymore? How many Lent seasons have you been through in your life? Do you actually, when you come to the Lenten season and the Easter season, and we just look at it as like Easter season, okay, it's time to get together with family. A lot of people, that's one of the 2 or 3 days a year they go to church is on Easter Sunday. I guess I better go on Easter Sunday. That would be a good day to go. It's like everybody's going to go on Easter Sunday, right? And so it really is. It's seasonal. It's like have you ever noticed that attendance goes up on Easter Sunday? Attendance goes up on Christmas. There's a few days a year where attendance goes up because it's sort of a ritual that's what we do. But this, as the Course in Miracles says, the resurrection is always coming. The second coming is always coming. That holy instant when you can connect with your indwelling Christ presence is every instant, every moment we have that opportunity. And the more we practice that, the more power is demonstrated through us. The more powerful we feel, the more aligned we feel. And so I want you to encourage you to, if you haven't set an intention for this Lenten season yet, it's not too late. It's not too late. You don't have to do it perfectly, right? Oh, I didn't start it on Ash Wednesday, Rick, so I'll just have to wait till next year. It's like, no, you don't. Every day is Ash Wednesday. Every moment is Ash Wednesday. You can set a new intention right now. And I can guarantee you, just in the 3+ weeks that when I got to that intention and I changed behavior, I cannot tell you how much time I have reclaimed, that I have redirected into positive activities, positive creative activities, because my mind is not taken up with either thinking about the activity or doing the activity or preparing to do the activity, thinking about, at 4:30 this afternoon, I can't wait till 4:30 because then I can go do the activity. It's not even a thing anymore, right? And what I have done is I've created space, and I have filled that space with things that are more in alignment with my purpose. It only amounts to, like literally, if I was watching the clock or kind of calculating it, let's say 2 hours a day, spread out over the course of a day, and doing this wasteful activity that I have reclaimed. But 2 hours a day times 7 days a week is 14, times 30 days in a month, it's 60, times 12 months in a year, that's 720 hours a day or a year that I'm no longer doing this activity that I am filling up with creative space. Do you know how much you can accomplish in 720 hours of creative activity? You can write a novel. You could write a novel in 720 hours, just 2 hours a day, like reclaiming that time. So by releasing that and setting that intention, it's like, okay, I'm going to get this out of the way. Now I'm only halfway to Easter. I've already released this. Now I'm thinking, what else can I release? What other time can I claim? What else? Where else am I leaking energy, creative energy? Like, I'm looking around the room here to make sure. Yeah. Well, except for a couple of exceptions in the room. Most of us have less highway in front of us than behind us. In a real sense, there's less highway. So what have you been putting off in your life, telling yourself, well, one day I'm going to get to that. One day I'm going to do this thing. One day I'm going to create this. One day I'm going to, do this thing. And yet we still let other things crowd out and the clock is ticking. And we keep telling ourselves one day. Well, today's the day, folks. Today's the day. There's no good reason to not do this thing that you keep telling yourself that you want to do and you want to achieve. There's a short list of things on my life list that, if my life ended today, that would be regrets that I didn't get accomplished. And I'd be going kicking and screaming to heaven going, no, I got to go back. I got to do those things. You got to send me back. This is a mistake. Y'all ever see Defending My Life or Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks? Has anybody seen that movie? Oh, highly encourage y'all. Go home, look up Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep. Great cast. Very, very funny movie. But it's about a guy who kind of gets taken down in the middle of his life, and now he's in the in-between state, the purgatory, so to speak. He's having to defend his life, what he did with his life here. And you get to defend your life to see whether or not you get to move forward, or got to go back and repeat it. So the idea about us evolving and moving forward is very, very funny and very, very poignant movie. But it's one of those things. It's like, is there something left undone in your life? Is there something you told yourself when you were younger that you wanted to achieve that is not yet achieved? And exactly when are you going to get started with that? Exactly when? Every moment is the resurrection. Every moment is the holy instant. There's no time like the present to begin this thing that is incomplete in your life. And so the renunciation, the release of sort of the what's the word? I don't want to call it a bad habit, but a wasteful habit. Let's just say something that is not contributing to your life in a positive way, not growing your capacity. What can you remove from your life? What can you release from your life so that you can reclaim not only the time, but also the energy, right? Creating the time and the energy for a new expression. So the key scriptural thought today is at the top of your top of that thing there where it says, let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus. And that comes from Philippians chapter 2, verse 5. And that's what this Lenten season gives us an opportunity to do, is that clear the space by releasing that which is not sympathetic with that Christ mind, so that I can clear the space for that Christ mind to take its place. So the renunciation, the power of renunciation is the power of the month in the month of November. But in the Lenten season, it's in play every day. That idea of releasing and renunciation, clearing the way. So every day during the Lenten season, that's a tangible, symbolic way to practice with the power of renunciation and the power of release. Have y'all ever had this sense where, like, no matter how much you've let go of and you've released in your life, that after you release something and you clear, you realize that there's still more stuff to release? That we're never kind of finished with that release process, the letting go, as it were, that there's still more stuff that we can release. Not the least of which is physical stuff, right? Some of y'all might know I'm a big avid vinyl record collector. Have been collecting vinyl records since I was a teenager. I have somewhere north of 6,000 vinyl records, all genres, classical, jazz, blues, rock, pop, whole thing. Do you know how much how much 6,000 vinyl records weighs, how much weight it is, like physical weight and space. You got to have shelves, right? You got to have, and dust. How much energy is taken up maintaining and carrying those around? It's literally physical weight. And I've been collecting them all my life, going like, well, when I'm in my retirement years, I'll have a little side hustle, and I'll wind up selling them. It's like, well, and I'm turning 68 in a couple of months. Exactly when are you going to start releasing all those vinyl records that you're carrying around? And it's literal weight. It's like ballast. So if you want to have that buoyancy, you want to have that lightness, the nimbleness, so to speak, to continue manifesting, but you keep carrying around this weight. It's literally a physical symbol. So that's one of the things that I've set my intention for this year, is that now's the time. Now's the time to start releasing that. Even if I could just, let's just say I was independently wealthy and I could do whatever I wanted to do with my time. Even if I started trying to listen to all the records that I own right now, I couldn't. There's not enough hours in the day and days in the year to get through the process of literally listening to them. So exactly what am I holding on to it for? Y'all have anything like that in your life that's accumulated over the course of time? And exactly what value is it adding to your life anymore? Exactly when do you begin that? That releasing of vinyl records, that's a huge piece in my own personal growth. Because it's not just about the vinyl records, it's about that idea of hanging on to them and how much space is taken up in my consciousness with not being able to just release it. Just release it, man. It's like, just the thought of it makes me feel lighter. Like really, like honestly, like, wow, that would be one of the most courageous things in the world that I could do, is release my vinyl record collection. That would take a lot of courage, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would. Because so much of my identity is wrapped up in that vinyl record collection. So many memories of music. Y'all have that before, where you hear a song that you hadn't heard in 20, 30 years and you hear it and like all of a sudden you're right back to where you were the first time you heard the song. It's amazing how much power that has. And so I would have to have the physical object too. And now it's just taking up space. Faith, my wife, she's really happy about the idea of me releasing the vinyl record. She's really happy about it. She's very supportive of that activity. And in my wisdom and discernment, that I can see with my spiritual clarity, that the power of wisdom and discernment helps me to discern what it is, what to release, and what to cultivate anew in my life. It guides my choices so that my life can align with the deeper truth of who I am. Right? I'm able to see that with my discernment, with the power of my wisdom, and go, yeah, you know what? It might be a good time to go ahead and release that, because there's still things that I wish to express and create and demonstrate in my life. But if I feel burdened, it's like you got to release something. So I feel renewed already. I'm only halfway through the Easter season, and just with this one habit that I've cleared out and kind of created that space in the course of my day, that already, like just in the last 3 weeks, there's already been a whole lot of new energy that has come into my life, a whole lot of things that I didn't think I was capable of doing, that now that I've got the attention and intention, that I'm finding, wow, I can do this thing. It's very empowering when you take on something and you start accomplishing something that you've been putting off for whatever reason, and you start actually taking action on it. Activity creates activity. And it's amazing. It's amazing what you'll learn about yourself, that you can actually achieve these things. And then it gives you momentum. It's like I said, I'm just working on this one thing for the Lenten season, but already I'm going like, okay, when Easter gets here and you've completed this 40-day track, you've created a new habit now, which is the habit of not doing the old habit, right? So you created a new habit. Now part of me is tracking, what else can I release? What else would be helpful to release next? Don't try and do too many things all at one time, right? Oh, I want to quit this and quit that and quit that and quit that. No, just do one thing at a time. Right? Do one thing at a time. That's all you need to do is one thing at a time. Face that. You have the willpower. We have a power of will, right? That's our executive capacity. We have a power of renunciation. We have a power of strength that allows us to persevere. The power of love, like just the amount of self-love that I have demonstrated and expressed to myself in the last 3 weeks by overcoming this habit, this wasteful habit, right? It's like every day that I clock, it's one of these things like, well, you've demonstrated to yourself that you can do without this thing. And what if you did it today, just today? Because you already know that you can quit and you can overcome it, right? So why not just let yourself do it today? And then I go, no, man, I'm already 21 days into it. If I do it today, I got to go all the way back to day 0. So it picks up momentum. That's the point. It picks up momentum that each day, it's like the 12 steppers say, one day at a time. That's a literal thing. That one day at a time is very, very powerful because I can do this for one day. I can do this for one day. And if I can do it for one day, I can do it the next day too. And so that release, that renewal is creating the space. So that release creates the space. And then the other part of this Lenten season thing is the reimagining. It's like, now that I've released this, right? What am I going to do with the time that I've reclaimed? What am I going to do with the mental space, the activity in my consciousness? Now I've got to, the greatest way to acquire some new things is to let go of some things. It's amazing. It's like, oh, I'm going to let go of this. Look, we put all this stuff out on the curb. Somebody can come by and get it. I don't care. I'll throw it away. I'll give it to Goodwill and everything. And you create space. And before you know it, man, you're right back at Home Depot or Best Buy or someplace like that, buying something else to put in the space that you cleared out, right? That's the quickest way to bring new stuff into your life, is to get rid of old stuff. So, but there's a discipline to it, is that when you bring new things into your life, right, that you become intentional, that it's not just stuff just for the sake of stuff, that it's intentional, that I can move this out that is no longer serves my life so that I can create the space for something that does serve my life. I've got way more musical gear. I already mentioned the vinyl albums, CDs. I didn't even talk about CDs, but there's a bunch of CDs on top of the vinyl records. I got lots of guitars, lots of gear, right? But I've made the intention that's come clear to me in the last 3 weeks is that, okay, you can release this other thing to create the space. And now, like, look around at what you've got. My intention has become clarified that I only want to keep what I'm actually going to use. Only going to keep what I'm actually going to use. Already that feels lighter to me. It's like, yeah, that's a good intention. That's a really good intention, because there's a lot of stuff that I bought along the way that had a need in the moment, and now I still got it. Because y'all might have heard me say this before. I'm famous for saying this, that I've never let go of anything in my life that didn't have claw marks in its back. No, not yet. You got to let it go. You got to release, you got to clear, because the rewards, the value to your life, the energy that you reclaim, that you're not even consciously aware you're leaking away. And what you're leaking away is your time, your energy, your life resources. And so that's what this Easter season is meaning to me this year, is that exactly when are you going to finish these projects? You can't say that you don't have time, because just look at the way you're spending your time. Is this serving? No, this is not serving. This is wasteful time. I can stop that so I can reclaim the time that I say that I need to finish the novel, for example. Those incomplete projects, you have everything you need. That's what we practice here in Unity, right? That we have abundance. We practice overcoming this feeling of lack. So everybody has 24 hours in a day. What are you doing with yours? What's left unexpressed in your life? What's left undone? And as you move into that space and you identify what that is, you're able to reimagine using the power of your imagination. Once again, that's our thing here, right? Release and reimagine. It's I mean, it's only half the equation if I release and then I don't reimagine what I could do or accomplish with my life with the energy that I've reclaimed by releasing this other thing. So release is just one aspect of it. The reimagination about what I can replace it with. That's the good stuff. That's the resurrection. That's the second coming. That's the practice of connecting with the Christ presence, which we're going to do in just a moment here in the silence. But I want to leave you with it before we turn our attention to the meditation and everything. I want to, this is on your thing, so you can take this home. And I encourage you all to take this home this week and think about this talk today. And like, look at just these little bullet points. Just follow these bullet points to kind of come through. So we've gone through the Christ is not only a historical figure, but it's a pattern of divine consciousness, right? It's a pattern that's within me. It's within you. It's that Christ pattern. That's what we connect with in the silence. And it's available. Lent invites us to awaken to that presence. And so we've talked a lot about the power of renunciation and release already. And that with my wisdom and my discernment, I can see with spiritual clarity, that the power of wisdom helps me to discern what is going to be valuable, what to release, what's going to be valuable in my life, what should I do with that? And then I'm able to reimagine new possibilities for my life. And that in that reimagination, that's how and where we experience that feeling of resurrection, that feeling of indwelling power. Like all of a sudden, instead of feeling weak, because I'm letting all these other things get in my way. I never have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the ability, all the things we tell ourselves to talk ourselves out of doing our biggest dream, like our wildest dream. We talk ourselves out of it because we don't have the time, the resources, the connections, the whatever. What's the point, right? There is a point, even if it's only a point to you, so that you know that you did it. Whether the rest of the world knows you did it or not is meaningless. You know you did it. And that is the point. And so that's that feeling of resurrection too. That's that feeling of I am powerful. And I'm getting that every day now for the past 3 weeks, moving this other habit out of the way and creating this new experience. Every day it's self-reinforcing. Every day that I don't engage in the old habit and fill it up with something new, it's reinforcing itself. So I'm living that Christ life even now. I don't have to wait till Easter. Easter's just going to be a really, really good day. That's going to be the day whenever my ego is going to be saying, hey man, you made it all the way to Easter. Now you can go back and do that thing you gave up 40 days ago. It's like, no, I can't. Because I'm going to release something else starting on Monday after Easter and clear more space. And that's when you're really, really energized with the possibilities in your life. And so I'm going to close with this one idea here. This is at the bottom of your sheet here about the Lenten practice, and it kind of summarizes what we've been talking about here. So we renounce or release. We do that to clear the space. That's right. We're clearing space by releasing. And then we discern with our wisdom. Now that I've created this space, what's possible for me? So with my wisdom, hopefully I'm making wise decisions about what to replace it with, and I'm not replacing it with another wasteful habit. So I discern with my wisdom, and then I reimagine a new possibility for my life. And that whole process, I'm preparing the way for the Christ within to rise and express through my life. That's what the Lenten season is about. That's what the Easter season is about. It's not just to acknowledge a historical moment in time of, Jesus's resurrection. He demonstrated that for us. And you don't have to be nailed literally to a cross and rise from the dead, so to speak, in order to experience the energy of resurrection. That energy of resurrection is when we wake up to our potential and we allow that potential to express through us. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to turn our attention to the meditation here and give us, each of us, an opportunity to connect. Just all you got to do is just connect. Does anybody ever read Joel Goldsmith, by the way? Joel Goldsmith is a famous New Thought writer and everything. I remember reading some of his writings a while back, and he said something very, very profound and very important that I never forgot. And it was about meditation. And he was talking about the idea of meditation is like when you're in a meditation, the moment that you connect with that indwelling presence, you're quietening down your ego, you're letting go, you're getting yourself still, you're getting yourself in the silence, and you're not making any petitions, you're not praying for anything, you're just kind of becoming neutral. And in that moment when you become neutral and you have that sense, oh wow, this is the space. At that moment, you can roll up your yoga mat and go about your day. Staying in that space isn't any more powerful than just that moment of recognition. Your meditation is complete the moment that you connect with the Christ. You can sit there if you want, but just that instant, that holy instant of connecting with the Christ presence within you, having that moment of like, I'm neutral, I'm here, use me, right? Like St. Francis's prayer, make me an instrument of thy peace, right? When you have that sensation, the meditation's over. It's over. There's nothing else to achieve. There's no more insight you can get. There's no more power you're going to get by sitting there longer. It's all about that instant of connecting with the Christ presence. So with that in mind, we're now going to turn our attention to that. And I want you to be kind of preparing yourself for that feeling. We probably have all had it at one point in time or another, but just know that staying in the meditation, staying in the silence longer doesn't get you any more brownies at the end of the period. You don't get more rewards because you stayed there longer. The whole idea is just to connect with that Christ presence. So I'm going to play a little bit of this song here. Everybody, take a breath. All right. Just relax. If you have something in your lap, I just encourage you to set it aside. For the next few minutes, there's nothing to do except be with that Christ presence. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. And so as we prepare ourselves
for that moment in the silence, we clarify that intention. Let our petitions go. Let any requests go. Just clarify that intention to simply connect with the awareness of that indwelling Christ presence within me, within you, and just like the one power, one presence, everywhere present at all times, but awaiting our attention, awaiting our intention to connect in the silence. And as we begin to gently draw our attention back into the sanctuary, we do so with the awareness that wherever we are, God is. Wherever we are, the Christ presence is. For that power, for that presence, for the potentials and possibilities that they bring to our lives, we say thank you. With a heart of gratitude, with an attitude of gratitude, we say thank you for the power of release that allows me to clear the space within my consciousness, within my thoughts, within my life, to clear the space for the emergence of the Christ presence. Whether in the Lenten season or the Easter season or any day of the year, we have that possibility, that potential to clear space, to bring in new energy into our lives for new expressions, new manifestations, new creative possibilities. And in that pursuit, we are lacking nothing. We have the wisdom and discernment. We have the imagination. We have the strength to persevere. We have that sense of divine order so that we can prioritize what's important in our lives. We have the power of will to help us execute those plans. We have the power to speak rightly about ourselves, about others, about the possibilities for our lives. And we perceive all of this with the power of our faith that allows us to perceive a new possibility for our lives. And above all else, we have that power of love, that creative faculty that harmonizes all things in our lives to manifest good. And so literally we are lacking nothing. So in this Lenten season, in this season moving towards Easter, we affirm for ourselves, help me to resurrect my own life. Help me to re-energize the indwelling Christ power within me. Help me to manifest and express new possibilities in my life, to complete unfinished projects, And we know that all of this is possible and more. And for those possibilities, for the power, for the presence, for the indwelling Christ, for the power of love, we are ever so grateful. And so we say thank you, thank you, thank you, living, loving Spirit. We pray all of this and more in the name and the nature of the indwelling Christ. And so it is, and so we allow it to be. Amen.
Rick. All right. Do we have any first timers? I don't think we do. Anyway, if we have any first timers on the line, I'm a little lost. Okay. If we have any first timers, if it's your first time at Unity, we are so glad you are here. We hope that you find this to be a place of like-minded people and a place to belong. We teach spiritual tools that can help you no matter what is going on in your life. And I don't think we have any newcomers. So we've reached our opportunity to support our spiritual cooperative. As we prepare our gifts, we recognize that giving is an act of love, faith, and spiritual connection. Please bless what you are giving now and join us in our offering affirmation. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I send it forth with my blessings and my love.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. And I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. And I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. And I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul.
Thank you again, Rick. All right, and now for blessing our abundance. We open our hearts in gratitude as we release these donations. We send these gifts forward through our congregation and into our world, blessing all that it affects. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, and now for some brief announcements. Linda Bertel, who has snuck out of here again, she always sneaks out before the announcement. She will be doing her sound bowl next Saturday. So if you haven't been to one, this is a great opportunity to come check it out. She gets their healing bowls and there's a gong, and if you really want to spread out, you can bring a yoga mat and everything and really zen out. We're also having next slide. Sunday, our Abundant Sunday potluck. So there is a sign-up sheet out there if you care to fill out just quickly. If you plan on bringing something, it'll help us organize a little better. It's right on the corner of the table there. So please bring a gift or a Dish. I was like, the word completely left me. A dish to share.
That'll happen more frequently the older you
Oy.
get.
And there's usually enough to go around, but please bring a friend, bring something to share next Sunday. All right. Next slide, please. And new member orientation class is coming up on April. Oh, this is a little out of order. April 12th. So if you think you're a member, but not really sure, this is a good opportunity to run through. This is also a good crash course on Unity basics. If you feel like this is a good refresher for that, that is Sunday, April the 12th. So we'll have more information. And it's just one session. Last time we spread it out over 2 courses. It's just going to be 1 2-hour session this time. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, opening the intuitive gate with Dr. Will Tuttle. He is coming. He and his wife are doing the music and the message on that Sunday, which is the last of the month, March 29th. And there's also a workshop working on how to bring out your intuition and his method in that. And he's got so many qualifications I couldn't fit in on the flyer, but he's a Zen master, he's a musician, all sorts of good stuff on his resume. So that is a love offering donation if you choose to come to that. So that is on the 29th. And what is okay? And finally, next month, our very own Melaine Arnold, who is our master gardener in residence here, is doing a herb workshop on how to plant with them and cultivate them and landscaping, stuff like that. We already have, if you care to sign up, well, it's in the newsletter already, or you can, I haven't printed a flyer today, but you can use that. It's up online and it's on the Facebook and everything, and we'll get it out, more information in our other channels. If you care to sign up, that is $15 a person. And then also on the 25th is our garage sale. So talk about clearing space for the Christ.
There you go.
Start clearing
Break
out,
some
right?
records, yeah.
It's spring cleaning season. So we are going to do it our normal way that we do it. We have drop off for a week. And then please, if you're bringing items in, be able to price them at least when you drop them off, or if you can price them at home. That actually takes the longest amount of time, is pricing things versus anything else. So if you are donating things, please do that. Please, no clothing. We just don't want to deal with that. Usually, no clothing, but everything else, as long as it's in good condition, is Saturday the 25th. And so April the 19th through the 24th are drop-off points. So those are happening at the same time, but it'll be a big day, and we'll have a lot of fun that day. So I think that is the end of our announcements. So, oh, and we always need volunteer opportunities. Virginia was doing the daily word today. I'm up here once again, so that means that we need hosts. So there's always a lot of stuff to be done around here. So a lot of you are put to work. If you're interested in being put to work, we will find something to help you do that. Help us help you. I don't know where my tongue is today. All right, and we are at the end of our gathering. Thank goodness. If we would please rise, circle up, and join hands, we will sing the prayer for protection, or sing the peace song, and then the prayer for protection. Step on.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Y'all have a happy Easter, everybody. Right. Great. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
I can't always, I just always can't wait till your Sundays come along. You give me so much meat.
Good. Good. Good.
Really and
Good.
truly,
Yeah.
you do.
Well, it gives me, it energizes me too, to like to just be able to, say it out loud,
Say it
like,
out loud.
say it out loud. And it's one of those things, activity creates activity. It's like we share when you're up, you share it with somebody else because it pays it
Absolutely.
forward, so to speak. It feeds on itself. So thank you. Always good to see you. Bless you.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mwah.
Y'all have a good day.
You too. Safe going home.
Always good to see y'all. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good to see y'all. Y'all have a great Easter. I'll see y'all next month. Make it